In this video, we will be discussing the different types of seagrasses that you can find here in the Indian River Lagoon. The seagrasses you can find in the Indian River Lagoon include turtle grass, manatee grass, shoal grass, Johnson seagrass, stargrass, paddlegrass, and widgeon grass. So we're going to go through each one of these in a little more detail, giving you some tips on how to identify them and which parts of the lagoon you're most likely to find them. First up, we have shoal grass, Halodule rhydi. This is the most common species of seagrass that you can find throughout the entire Indian River Lagoon. This seagrass has flat, thin blades that have a central vein. It can grow to be quite long, but you might also see it shorter, especially if there are manatees in the area that might have come along and had lunch. Manatees thankfully don't pull out all of the seagrass, but they do come along and munch the tops off, and so you might have it cut off closer to the base. We also have manatee grass, Syringodium filiforme, which has a round or cylindrical blade. This species is also found throughout the Indian River Lagoon. Turtle grass, or Thalassia testudinum, has flat blades, but they are much wider than our shoal grass. Also, you can see on the image here that at the end, they have rounded tips. This species is found in the southern portion of the Indian River Lagoon. For these three species we've discussed so far, we can remember them based on something that you might see in your kitchen, pasta. So again, our turtle grass is thin, flat, and wide, just like fettuccine. Our shoal grass is thin and flat, but skinnier, like linguine. And our manatee grass is round and skinny, like a spaghetti. We look at each one of these seagrasses and we'll see that primarily the seagrass is going to be growing out of a center point at the base of the sediment. Another seagrass that you'll see that also has flat, thin blades is widgeon grass. However, this one is different in the sense that the blades are going to be growing off in branches. So rather than all coming out of the sediment at the base, you'll have the center part of the seagrass and then have these branches of the thin, flat seagrass growing out on either side as it continues up. And widgeon grass is not always considered a true seagrass because it is an aquatic plant that can live in fresh water and in brackish water, brackish meaning a mix of salt and fresh. But it can be a very important seagrass species in the Indian River Lagoon, especially in areas where there is freshwater outflow or a lower salinity. We also have some seagrasses that are a little bit shorter and a little bit rounder. These include our paddle grass, which you see on the left here. These have about 1 inch broad rounded leaves. And then we also have our Johnson seagrass, Halophila johnsonii, which also is now known as Halophila ovalis because we used to think that this was a species just endemic to southern Florida. However, it has recently been determined to be the same as Halophila ovalis, which is a species from the Indo-Pacific. Therefore, depending on where you are looking, if you're looking at documents just in Florida, you'll probably still see the scientific name Johnsonii. However, if you're using our Seagrass Spotter app, they are using the name that they use worldwide, which is Halophila ovalis. And both of these species are found only in the southern portion of the Indian River Lagoon. If you're up in the northern portion of the Indian River Lagoon, especially up in Mosquito Lagoon, you are likely to encounter stargrass, Halophila anglemani. This seagrass has rounded blades, but they all come together at a base and they grow out in a little rosette or star pattern. So you'll have between 5 and 8 of these short blades all connected to a center point. I also want to mention one species of algae that we want to be on the lookout for. So algae are not plants. They do not have that vascular tissue. So you'll see that the blades here, they're just a flat color as opposed to having those lines or those veins running through them. And our Caulerpa prolifera is one of the main species of green algae that you will find in the Indian River Lagoon. And in some places, it can be growing in amongst seagrass or even form beds that will cover entire areas. And so this green algae is a bright dark green color with an oval shaped blade. You can see sometimes the edges are a bit ruffled, and you might see a secondary blade growing out of the center of a parent blade. So all of these species of seagrass you can find on our species ID guide. So we've got the link for that in the comments are attached to this video so that this is something you are able to print out or save to your phone and reference if you need to when you're participating in Eyes on Seagrass programs. And with that, please check out our website, https://bit.ly/EOS Blitz, that's for Eyes on Seagrass Blitz, to find all of the details about how to participate in our Eyes on Seagrass Blitz in the Indian River Lagoon. Thank you.